night, the city of Lagos went agog as all routes.
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV
24-hour news station. Hello and welcome to Core Digest. I am Frank of Malape, and it's so good to have you join us again this very weekend edition of the program. Well, today we'll be looking at a very important topic here. The ceasefire deal, we're counting down to the release of the Chibok girls. And Friday, the federal government announced that it has reached an agreement, a ceasefire agreement with the Boko Haram sect. And well, every one of us will begin to say thumbs up for federal government. We are barely 24 hours into that agreement. Well, the set struck again in 2 or 3 communities in Borno State, and that again has raised a question that what really is wrong with the ceasefire, or could that be a breach of trust from the angle of the Boko Haram there? These are some of the things we're going to be looking at on the program today. But first of all, let's quickly take a look at this video clip from the Chief of the Army Staff, Chief Alex Baghdad there, talking about how they have come to an agreement. Let's quickly take a look at it, except I'll be back.
From Cameroon and all your members of your delegation. Look, you can interpret. Okay.
Mon cher ami du Cameroun et ses délégations.
I once again want to thank you on behalf of Armed Forces of Nigeria.
Je vais vous remercier au nom d'état-major du Nigeria
for accepting to come over to Abuja to come and discuss this all-important matter.
Pour avoir accepté de venir à Abuja pour discuter cet sujet vraiment important.
But without any prejudice to the outcome of our 3 days interaction,
mais sans considérer ce qu'on avait déjà discuté dans 3 jours.
And the conclusion of this forum,
et en conclusion,
I wish to inform this audience,
je vais informer tout le monde
that a ceasefire agreement has been concluded between the federal government of Nigeria and Al-Sunnah Lidawa wal Jihad.
Qu'ils ont déjà signé un cessez-feu entre l'armée du Nigeria et je ne sais pas le nom, et le Boko Haram.
I have accordingly directed,
et j'ai déjà instruit
the service chiefs to ensure immediate compliance with this development in the field.
Le chef de service de respecter ce qui est déjà signé.
There you have it there. That's the Chief of Defense Staff there, Alex Baghdad, giving the details of the interaction between what he called Al-Sunnah Lidawa jihadists within the Boko Haram, a representative of the Boko Haram there, and the end of the 3-day interactions of that meeting. Well, we're going to be talking right now on that, taking a look on that issue. What exactly happened? I'm being joined in the studio live here with Olabode Oseni, a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, let's quickly, less than 24 hours into the ceasefire, the Boko Haram struck again into about 2 or 3 local governments in communities in Borno State. Isn't it surprising to you?
Let me start by saying the truce that's brokered between, the Republic of Chad and Cameroon, which took place in Saudi Arabia, that all put together, is highly welcome. Even though it's about 6 months late, but it's still welcome, because when you look at the millions of people all over the world Not even the parents of these 276. We're looking at about 219 now.
219. We
Left.
had one escaped, so we're looking at
53,
280.
at one
okay.
time.
Okay.
The magnitude of the concern of millions of people, even up to the wife of President of America, carrying placard, release our children. And also many people who have put so much agony into the whole thing, sharing the same grief with the parents of these people. So it can never, it couldn't be better news. So it's the best news anybody in the whole world can have. Having said that, I think this kind of truths have to be monitored. And I hope the people that brokered it, the people who were behind the closed doors, who negotiate these truths, will also be there to make sure they monitor. So it is now a little bit worrying, because just shortly 24 hours when this news was released to the whole world, and now we are having this kind of skirmishes, sporadic and killing again started taking place. So there must be still something that is not really working well. And that is a little bit worrying. And again, like I said, it's not the mothers of these 219 girls left in the captivity of Boko Haram that are worried. People like me, who is also a parent, and like you and many other people, should share the grief with these people. So if what we see now is another incessant clashes or killing starting again, then question will be asked. Say, have you really done what you have to do? Did you really put everything in place to make sure that these truths hold?
Oh, okay. What you're saying is that probably something went wrong. But in your own
Must
opinion,
be because
opinion,
as
what
it
do you
is,
think could have gone wrong in this situation? Of course, we're talking about in the first place, the government never wanted to come to a negotiation table with these people, and then now that the government is coming to negotiate with these people, yet it's like it's not working. Do you think something is wrong with the agreement, ceasefire agreement, so to say?
you see, when you want to prepare a good sweet soup or a good party, you must put every possible planning arrangement into it. When you are negotiating the truce, even take a common husband and wife relationship. When you, if you have a continuous clashing relationship in the house, and now you want to work out an arrangement whereby there's going to be peace, truce in the house, then you must talk over and about everything. You should be able to discuss virtually everything that is causing the problem.
Okay.
So I can now suggest or think that, and I hope that has been done, but if that has been done, because if all these issues were not put into consideration, were not put into the discussion, into the negotiation, so the result is what we get now. So, because I can now imagine that one side is saying, well, what and what do we need to do? But the experts, the people that represent the government on our side here, and again, the people that they represent the terrorism or whatever on their side, will also have a list of demands, a list of what and what need to be done. And these are the areas that need to be treated. And I think if that has not been properly dealt with, which is the cause of the latest clashes we see now, that is what I'm trying to say, that there's something that needs to be done that has not been done. And that is clear.
Okay, because in that video, in that excerpt, Alex Bades sounded convincing that, okay, they've reached an agreement with these people. And so let's even possibly begin to look at some of these things that maybe this is what we want, this is what we want government to do. Because in the report released in the newspaper, we are hearing that, okay, yes, the possible things that could have been, though it has not been actually released for everyone to see, but in some of the papers we are seeing that, okay, there are about 5 people there that they talk about in that meeting which is to release some of their members before they can release the girls. Do you think that is a process that should have taken place?
Well,
because there seems to be lack of trust in this case now. The first step was a negotiation. And it's like,
that's exactly what I was trying to do when I was giving you the analogy of cooking and also of a relationship that is been battered and you want to fix it, you want to repair that, and so on and so forth. It is clear that we have problems on our hands, you know, and we need to deal with this squarely. We need to do it even very swiftly because, like I said, it's taking 6 months late. So whatever we are doing now, we need to get it right. We cannot afford to have organized or arranged for a ceasefire, and then we are getting this kind of results. A layman will say, well, that means the vehicle, the car, the thing has not been properly fixed. So a negotiation of this magnitude it must be well organized, must be well represented, it must be well done in such a way that truce will be truce. In most of the wars of this world, when you call for truce, the truce usually is obeyed and respected. So, very rare situation you had that truce is now broken and fight want to continue. Yes, if at the end of the day the final draft, the final arrangement is not agreed on certain logistic or issues, there might be war again. But where we are now, we can't afford to do that, and that's why I say I'm using this opportunity to applaud. I'm very happy that the government has done so much, and they are doing so much to make sure that the issue of this our girls that have been in captivity for so many months are going to be brought to an end, and at the same time use the same opportunity to find solution, a lasting solution.
Okay, in your own opinion,
to the problem of Boko Haram.
Okay, in your own opinion, what do you think we should be looking at now on the negotiation table? Another report says the government will still meet with these people on Tuesday, maybe somewhere in Chad again. What do you think we should be looking at in the next meeting, in some of the things that should be considered, put into the negotiation table now?
Well, wherever they're going to meet again, and it doesn't matter where they're going to meet, wherever they're going to meet again. What I'm saying, and I can always say, I can always make this suggestion on behalf of our side here. This is the government side. And on the side of we, the parents, that are looking forward to have our guests back. You understand me? So whatever the demands, and that is going to be more of a professional arrangement than we as a layman here talking. You know, whatever the demands of the other side, because as it is now, I can imagine that our one and only request or demand would be, please release these guys. But again, they will now say, we cannot release these guys unless A, B, C, D of our demands are met. Which I would think the experts, the people, because the kind of people that will have to represent the government must be professionals, must be people who knows how to deal with terrorism, who know how to deal with the demands of terrorism. It's not just an ordinary people, and that's why this brings me to an area of we politicized so many things. Everything is personalized, everything is even at the expense of the lives of human beings in this country. And I think that is not helping the politics, it's not helping the people of Nigeria. We should not be politicizing everything. We should not be personalizing everything. There's certain things that we need to do according to the norm. We need to do them rightly. If we do not do them rightly, the result, it will be jaga jaga. And we don't need that kind of thing. We're talking of lives of hundreds of young girls. We are not even getting to a point that even by the time they come out, the problem we are still going to have in making sure to restore them, to bring them to normalcy. This is also a huge task ahead of us. You understand me? So the question of if they are going to meet Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever they're going to meet again, the government should be represented by seasoned, experienced people who knows exactly what or how best to deal with terrorism. or these terrorists. Because like I said, there's no doubt in my mind that they will come with a long shopping list.
Okay.
They will be, I mean, I can imagine, I don't want to start speculating what are the probable demands of Boko Haram are going to be. But they will definitely want to ask for this and that and so on and so forth. And that is why we cannot afford to politicize. You understand me?
But a lot of people are also thinking, okay, sometimes we'll ask this, some, members of international communities to come in, and then until now, we've not even heard anything from that side of the people that came down here. And they are saying, oh, some Nigerians are saying, okay, what happened with that report? People that came here to help us to rescue these girls. What happened to that report? What are your thoughts on that?
It's another sad area of thinking for me as a Nigerian. Because when we have problem like this, and we also have the window of opportunity to invite, to ask for support. You understand me? And at one time, the thing was at that level, very high. Virtually all the countries of this world were willing to chip in, were willing to come and help us resolve the problem. And that is why I was trying to say that we now have a situation where we do our business in such a manner, very untidily. And I'm bold to say that. Because if you are drowning and you have one or two or three people that want to jump into this to rescue you, you must follow instruction. You understand me? Because you are drowning and somebody come to want to rescue you and say you hold the finger out, you are still able to talk. You understand me? Then you must follow the instructions. What I'm trying to say here, in another word, is at the time most of these people outside our country were willing to help. The larger question is, what went wrong? Why were they now? The whole world again, they're silent over this issue, making the parents of these children to continue to be traumatized, and also we do not even know the situation of the girls. So what I think we need to do, and I want to repeat, is to make sure when we are meeting the other side on Tuesday or whenever it is, to make sure that people representing us, they are not politicians. They are not politicians. They are not people that only will go to make too much noise about who is who, the personalization of everything. We don't need them. We are talking of lives of 219 remaining captured girls. We should be sending people who knows what to say, how to deal with the other side. As long as we are not doing that, we will get the same result of other countries say, you know what, you're on your own. We wanted to help you, but you are not cooperating, you are not doing what we ask you to do. Because this is not the time to get to score.
So what you're saying is that probably some of the people who represented the government are probably trying to, maybe the other side, see that there's politics in it, they are trying to play games. Maybe that is what they saw, and then they begin to react. They're taking
advantage.
Okay.
Because here again is on record. This is not Olabode Oseni saying. It's on record that we have had so many versions of what is going on. So when you have a long list of put together the not correct information that are in support of because ABC are involved or whatever, that is not helpful. You understand me? And when the people over there who want to help from outside, the moment they arrive at Muritala Muhammad Airport, they've seen you all. They've seen what is going on here. They know better than you and I put together. So now when it now comes to the business, and they're now sitting down, they want to get information as how do we go to attack the problem, to deal with the problem, and we are not being specific, we are still personalizing. I've used that word many times. Because everything we do here is to get somebody boosted, is to get somebody to get cheap marks for even things they did not even do. And that is not good. Because it brings me to say that it shows clearly how much value
Okay, so in other words, what you are also trying to say again, or what you're saying, is also trust and sincerity is necessary. How important is that on the negotiation table?
Of course, it is necessary. You see, there's time to do politics. There's time you want to play politics. There's also time you cannot play politics with the lives of human beings. Over there in other countries, when it comes to the life of a dog, I have said that many times, there's certain things they do, they did not even put politics into it. So, but here, it shows clearly how much premium, how much values we put into the lives of ordinary citizens in this country. More so when you have a dead body on the road, 2-3 days lying down there. When you do not even care where there should be overhead bridges, when you do not even care where there should be works, employment, Medicare, and basic things of life, and you're expecting cooperation of the citizen, it's not going to happen. I was listening to a news report yesterday. Luckily, I had lights for a couple of hours yesterday, and I was able to switch on. And one of these eminent Nigerians was saying, well, how do you expect to get solidarity, sincerity, support from ordinary people? Millions of our people who have no jobs, who have no hope. You've taken the hope alongside with your own, with your own success. How do you expect them to be cooperative? How do you expect the families of these people whom Boko Haram have destroyed their livelihood? How do you expect them to react? So the point I'm trying to make here is we cannot continue to politicize everything. We cannot continue to personalize everything. We're looking at the lives of human beings here.
Okay, Mr. Labode, let's quickly also look at, go back to the negotiation table again. Let's assume the federal government says, okay, Boko Haram, release these girls. We, on our side, we're going to release these prisoners. Let's even, because these are some of the things, in the first report we got, they are saying, okay, we need you to release our men, the strong men that you have in your prisons, release them for us. Let's assume, okay, the federal government is willing to release these people. Now, that also boils down to the issue of trust again. In your own opinion, do you think the federal government want to trust these people, looking at the fact that, okay, even this ceasefire that they just talk about, they didn't keep it to their own. Do you think the federal government want to trust them to that extent and even releasing these people, believing that, okay, if we release these people, the Boko Haram will release these girls?
And that's why I suggested and repeatedly said here that something of this nature, you will have to employ people of not only high caliber, but people who have experience in this area. And if we need to get 1 or 2 from Ghana, so let us go and get it. If we need to bring 1 from Germany, so let's get it. You understand me? Because it's not a day-to-day mile 14 or mile 12 negotiating how to buy tomato and something. It's not when you go to ram markets to negotiate how much and so on and so forth. Because as you rightly said, I can imagine one of the number 1 on the list of the Nigerian government will be release. You understand me? Okay. The other side will say, well, if we are going to give you something, you must give us something in return. What and what are going to be on the list of their demands? It might be very difficult for you and I to know from sitting down here. But then again, I have no doubt in my mind that when we have professionals, you understand me? People can trust. And I also want to use this opportunity to also suggest to the authority, if we are going to this kind of negotiations, we have a large number of highly qualified, sincere, reasonable, you understand me, respectable people. And I'm sorry if I have to say this again, we do not need to personalize things. If we are going to get people like that in the other political parties, let us go there and get them to come and get the job done. We must not insist that because this is the ruling party, the people that have to come, when we do not even have 20 of such a people that can do the job, but unfortunately they are finding ANNPP or whatever other political parties. So why should we continue to risk the life of our children?
Okay, maybe what you're saying is that the government should look into some of the people
getting
that
the trust people we are talking about.
Okay.
If the trusted people we are talking about is not available in what we have now as the government in power, and we can see them in in APC or in another political party, let us go there and get them and come and get the job done. They're not going to make it. I mean, they only do the job because you're talking of trust.
So we should look into probably the opposition party, APC, to also pick people from there.
Yeah, but then as you can see, it is what APC said is something against Boko Haram. Is what the other person say is in support of Boko Haram. That is not on. That is not how to do business. Business is not done like that from other countries that I know. Because when there is a national problem, then the national problem will now demand a national rainbow coalition where you bring everybody together to discuss issues. And that point in time, you do not put the parameter of who is in this party, who is in that party. What will be important in our mind is, a former governor of Edo State or a former governor or former minister or whatever, but now in another political party that's not in the ruling party, is a well-trusted. Not everybody in the opposition party are not trusted. I mean, at the end of the day, the opposition party will also say most of the people in the government are not to be trusted anyway. So, but we are talking of human beings here. We do not need to start using that as a reason why we should not go to you if we know that you can be trusted by these people. I'm also trying to say here, in the north, there are a large number of people that when they see, if they are given that opportunity, if they are given that chance to go and negotiate on behalf of us, when they see the other side look at them and say, you know what, we believe you. So whatever we agreed here, we will follow to letters. And we also have Yoruba people say, when a young person gets to where there's fear, the fear will grip him. You understand me?
All right.
So when we have former leaders, or former politicians who are still available to serve this country conscientiously, we should tap into them. It doesn't matter which party they belong to.
You recall also, Mr. Labode, that we had someone who also came from abroad some time ago, and the report they submitted was that the former Chief of Defense, or Army Staff rather, Ihejirika, and of course the former Governor of Borno State, I guess it's Shetima,
yeah,
were part of the people sponsoring. That was this report, and though I'm sure you also know where
you're talking about the Australian man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, do you think even if you bring these people, do you think that could still solve that problem? Because you suggest that we should look into Germany, look into some other country to bring them.
Yeah.
Do you think that would still solve the problem? Because even at the Australian man who submitted the report, I'm sure that report is nowhere to be found, and it's as good as nobody working on that report at this time. Do you think that will still solve the problem?
It will. And like I said, what we need to put in our head first, what we need to be looking at is the result. How do we get the result? As you can see, I've also heard some people saying outside this country, and that is very, very shameful. It's very, very sad to hear comparing the lost Malaysian airline to the captured Nigerian young girls that are still alive. We don't know what happened to that aircraft. And if you can imagine all what the civilized countries of this world, all what they've done to find that lost aircraft. And some people are going out to the other side of this country, using that as a comparison.
Okay.
That Shebi, there was an airline that's lost. They didn't find them now. This is what I'm talking about: personalization and politicization of everything, and it's not moving us forward. That's why we are not moving. We are not making progress. That's why we are still here we are still struggling to show other parts of the world that we are capable of ruling ourselves. Because, yes, there will be change of government, there will be government in governance, there will be a government in opposition, and there will be changes. Like it has always been like that. Even when you look at a country like a United Kingdom, if a government, if even the best government that is running and is done the first time, second time, third time, for some reasons, the electorate over there will say, you know what, enough. They will just, for no reason, not that the government cannot continue doing that good job, but because for democracy, to oil, you understand me? The angle, the everything in democracy, they will not even choose to vote another party in and say, let's give them a chance. So we should stop making mockery of our governance in this country. If we know that exactly it is important to us that we have to get these children back.
Okay.
It shouldn't cause us this argument.
But looking at this situation, with this ceasefire agreement broken by Boko Haram, do you think this is a helpless situation? What's your take on this?
Of course, it will be helpless.
Because a lot of people are saying, oh, government should have come before now, negotiate with Boko Haram, and now they have come negotiating, and now it's like it's not working. Do you think this is a helpless situation?
Well, all I can say to that is, if the job has been properly done, we should not be getting this. But it's not too late. You just said it that another a day or two, they're going to be another. So at least we've seen that the car is not properly fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, you take your car from the mechanic and he said you switch the engine on and everything is working, boom, boom, boom. And then you say, okay, I'm going to Ibadan. And you have not even reached an area on the high road. Something started, giving you some signs. And you have to park because you don't want to run into the risk of running into another bigger problem. You now find out that it maybe it's a screw that is not properly tightened. Or maybe it's something that is not working or is working in isolation that is going to cause more damage. So I think it's another golden opportunity. Because like I said at the beginning, I welcome and I applaud and I'm very, very happy that government has taken this, even though it's a late one, but they've gone so far to achieve what we have now on the ground. With what we have now, we can start working on it. We can start playing with that. So when they are meeting, I hope they are listening, they are watching this program. They should send, not politicians, not people who want to give anybody cheap marks or whatever. They should send people who are highly trained. And I have no doubt in my mind that we have many of them in either the military, in civilian, and so on and so on. There are many former head of states in the north. We can still tap into them. Get them to get to where these people are sitting down their rep, and then get them to discuss and offer them what we can offer and tell them what we cannot offer them. But most importantly, that we want the children back, and we should be able, ordinarily, we shouldn't be even discussing this issue.
All right.
Ordinarily. But we got it to, this is where we find ourselves. And that's, I am saying, with the large concentration of a former head of states in the north, we can tap into them. They are all highly credible people, nice people, you understand me? So we can use them. We do not want to put politics into all this. Putting politics into this is just going to ruin the whole thing, mess everything up, and we will end up saying, you see.
So one of the ways you are suggesting is that we can use a former head of state
who
are resided in the north and all of that. Okay, we'll take a break shortly and we'll come back to talk more. It's getting interesting here. It's still called Digest, Weekend Edition. We'll be back after this time out.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed. To anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of Osun State and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on QTV News.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, our 24-hour news station.
I'm glad to have you back now. It's still cold, yes, and it's getting interesting here. Olabode Hussaini, a public affairs analyst, has been here with me in the studio, and we're discussing the ceasefire deal, a countdown to the release of the Chibok girls. Unfortunately, barely 24 hours after the ceasefire agreement between federal government and the Boko Haram, they struck again in about 2 or 3 communities in Borno State, and questions have been raised. What went wrong with that, ceasefire agreement? Well, the phone lines are open now. You can call in to make a contribution on this very program. We're talking about, looking at solutions, and you say that the former head of state who are also resided in the north can also be used, looking at the fact that they are known and the wide, much influence and all of that. What are the other areas you want us to look at the federal government, you want the federal government to look at in this ceasefire agreement? I mean, this negotiation agreement between federal government and Boko Haram?
Well, whatever we put together to release, for me, the number one thing is to get all these guys released. And I can imagine the whole world will be so happy, because when you go back a couple of months ago, all the activities that's gone into bringing our guys back, all the kind and shades of people that have put their time, their energy, even financial support into getting these guys out. So they will be very happy to see the release of these guys. So, but let me quickly go back to the issue of the suggestion of bringing the former head of state. Again, when I repeatedly say we should not personalize, we should not politicize. If I had to be advising the president today or Adisa, I would say, you know what? If I believe that one of the generals is a better person than whatever in this particular area, because they all have different qualities. There's no doubt about it that we have 5 living former head of states in the north, and they have different qualities.
All right.
So, but most importantly, they're all highly respected former head of state of this country, and more respected in their area, in their domain. So, what is the problem? Why can't we, if we do not want to use the politics of the better one is in my party and the other one is not in my party, why can't we?
Okay, let me quickly pick up. Let's pick up this call. Mark Konjun, calling from Abuja. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, Mark Konjun. I can hear you. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I've been listening carefully to the a man on the TV has been very good in analyzing some issues. But I want to raise some points. Because, as you were saying, most of the things we do in Nigeria are politicized. When you are talking about Nigeria, you can look at history. A former prime minister becoming a foreign affairs minister, a former president becoming international affairs minister. We must have that national consciousness to be able to know the difference when we are playing politics. America released 5 Al-Qaeda members to release 1 soldier. We are talking of the value of a human being here, my brother. It's very embarrassing when you see police arguing. It is 100, it is 50. As if it only become an offense when it is 100. A single life is precious. Nobody can create it. Then you see a politician now start to play a game with 219 valuable lives. And you are now trying to talk to them because you need their vote. It's wicked. You are not talking to human beings as if you are talking of bread and tea. You want to use the life of these innocent girls now to campaign? When will you come to get conscience when you are talking of elections? If you want to use less people's lives to seek power, you will die by that power. It's just a pity. When it comes to national matter like saving lives, we should not talk of party, PDP, MPP, or NEPA, whatever they call themselves. There are some of us that don't belong to any party, we belong to Nigeria. They do not take it as if everybody is PDP, APC. Some of us that we are just Nigeria. We don't want to know whether PDP or APP. We want to know good governance. Bread on the table. Stop lying. You take 1.9 billion, we will not see anything. Borrowed nothing. Let us come to the sensibility of doing the right thing. Enough of these things they are doing.
Hello, Marco, can you hear me?
Nobody knows that Gaddafi can be removed in 2 years.
Can you hear me, Marco?
They will know the poor people and they will know the thing.
Hello?
Fam?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
Yeah. In this case of these Chibok girls and the negotiation that is ongoing between the federal government and the Boko Haram, what do you think the federal government should do in releasing these girls? Of course, the ceasefire, it looks like the Boko Haram said it's not complying.
Let me come in here, please, brother. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
In any broadcast ceasefire anywhere in the world, there have never been immediate 100% ceasefire. When you were doing ceasefire in Ukraine, almost 1 month after there was some areas to see some shooting, some killing, because you cannot rein everybody in at the same time. This little thing you talked yesterday might be some of them that have not been communicated, some of them that cannot be reached. They will still be carrying on until one way or the other they are communicated to stop. It is normal. It is not a breach. You need to call experts to talk when it is like this type of thing. It is not a breach. These are scattered guerrilla warfare things. They cannot be reached at the same time. There are some in the jungle that are still going on, not knowing what is going on at all. So it will take some days before those people know that, oh boy, our guy, stop. So this is not a breach. It's a continuous process of trying to build that consensus and ceasefire. It's not a breach at all. We do not look at a breach. They are desperate to look, because now they have been losing their members. They want to stop fighting too. They want to stop fighting. This is an advantage to take now. God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much, Mark Onju, calling from Abuja there. Thank you for making your point across. What do you think? Do you agree with her? He says it's not a breach. He's saying it's not a breach of truce. But, of course, the federal government came out to tell us with that clip we saw that, okay, this is in compliance. We are complying. We are ceasing. We are fire. We are not going to, fight with this Boko Haram anymore in compliance with this agreement. That seems to be like, okay, there was an agreement reached. And now they came just 24 hours, barely 24 hours.
And maybe a more military person should be saying what I'm about to say. But I just want to use my common sense to say it.
All right.
When you go into a negotiation like this, like you rightly said, we are collected. You understand me? We are well connected on our side here. But you are looking at, and that's why I use the word skirmishes, where sporadic here and there. Mm-hmm. And he also used the example of Ukraine. What happened in Ukraine? I can understand where it's coming from. So the point is, there's still no reason, even while we are negotiating, while most of the area that are in question, Kondugas, Mbezi, and so on and so forth, should not be secured by us. I mean, at the end of the day, we're supposed to have a more firepower than the other side. What are we doing with all the billions that have been sunk into these, buy this, buy that? So let us be serious. And I agree with him that when, and I'm happy he agrees also with me, that in this situation, we should be dealing with experts. The experts are one of the persons you described to be trusted. You understand me?
Okay.
So a trusted person could be an expert that can be trusted in negotiation to secure a specific arrangement. So that's what we should be doing. And we are not doing that.
Okay, so the major challenge now, from what you're describing, is the federal government really is not making use of experts. But let's quickly look at some of the reports published here, some of the things published in Punch newspaper, and there are things that were looked into during that, the meeting, interaction meeting between the Boko Haram state and the representative. Okay, let's quickly pick up this call from Ena Ikele, calling from Lagos. Hello? Hello, good afternoon, Ena Ikele. Hello, Ena Ikele.
I want to know why the government has delayed so long for 6 months to take this decision of reaching a truce with the Boko Haram. Is it because the election is so close, or what? Honestly, I don't understand. The people in the government should understand that if these ladies or girls that are under the captivity of Boko Haram, if they were to be their children, would they have waited for 6 months before taking this decision, or what? I think government should be more sensitive to the lives of the citizens. That is my contribution.
Much Enakele for calling. Yeah, probably he's asking a question at the same time making his, his own contribution and saying that government should be sensitive to the plight of these girls. Well, I'm not the government. I'm sure he's asking a question. I'm sure the government should be able to ask, probably listen to this show, and should be able to answer that question. Why did it take them too long? Why did they wait? That's what he's trying to say. You want to say anything on that?
He says sensitive. I mean, the question is, I'm not too sure whether the government we have at different levels are sensitive to your needs. You tell me what exactly you want to show that you are proud of. Is it the light you get regularly? Is it the water supply you get regularly? Is it the good roads? Are these all these things that you get? Is it the education of your children? Or good housing? Or basic things? Because like I said, at the end of the day, we will still need to sit down and deal with the cause of that Boko Haram thing. We will still need to go there to discuss with the causes. Because as long as we do not deal with the causes of the problem, the effect will continue to will continue to be with us. Because we're having a situation where these people are denied of virtually everything. They have no education. And I've said it many a time, apart from those ones who are quacks, who will say the leader of an average this terrorist cell will say he studied ABC. He's lying. I cannot see a graduate of physics who will now say that he wants to go and join Boko Haram.
But some of them say that they are very, very intelligent.
They are liars.
Okay, let's quickly pick up this call. Hello, how you are calling from Ikoyi? Good afternoon. Hello, Ayuba. Good afternoon. Go ahead and make a contribution.
You are discussing about this Boko Haram issue. We blame Jonathan about this.
The president.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I can hear you. You say you're blaming the president. I say, why are you blaming the president?
Because they use in politicians to because of somebody like, and me that I'm calling you, I'm from Chibok local government. You know,
Okay.
but I'm living in Lagos. But what they did is no right way to use human being life properly to do election. Now that Jonathan was telling us that you bring those girls back now, do you understand? Then it makes Jonathan know something about Boko Haram, about these children. If Jonathan knows anything about these children, he's supposed to make arrangements with children before them. Now, how many months? It's 6 months. Then you start to present again, to bring those back again because of the election. That is very nonsense for me. Because the very person that him himself, he tell us that he was bringing these girls, how many promised that can be?
You are aware, Ayuba, that the federal government has been involved in ensuring the return of these girls.
Nobody can vote for him if he didn't bring this back.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? I mean, it's off there. I actually wanted to ask. Probably what he's trying to is, I am sure you can understand the pain he's trying to. I mean, is going through. Okay, he's from the from Chibok community, and he's trying to express how painful it is to to go through such a. Well, but then let's begin to even look at it. These girls are 219. We heard one escaped. We will now have 218 girls there. Well, this drew attention of the global communities, but there are other instances where we heard about 100 boys were kidnapped, and we're not talking about them at all. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that also.
We're only talking about these girls, but there are other cases that we're not even talking about.
I remember very well the case of some boys that were.
Okay, let's quickly pick out this call. Tony calling from Kano. Good afternoon. Hello, Tony.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon. I can hear you. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Please turn it down, then you can go ahead with your contribution.
Right. My contribution on this issue is Nigeria as a big country.
Yes, go ahead. Oh, we lost him there. So we're about talking about the other instances where we have boys and other people kidnapped, but we didn't hear anything about them. But it's just about these Chibok girls that brought all of these into global attention. What are your thoughts on that?
That's also another sad side of our story. That's also a sad one because in retrospect now, you are bringing that also. We still have the issue of hundreds of boys were also abducted.
Exactly.
And we don't even know. We do not even have updates. And I just hope that the authorities are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, what they're supposed to be doing. You understand me? I hope they are working on that also. Because as it is, the highlighted case we have is the girls. Because that's been so worldwide, you know. So I just hope that also when this truce business, when this ceasefire eventually holds, and we are all now, we can also go into that ceasefire to tap into other area of our lives, their lives, we'll be able to solve most of the problems. Because like I said, even no matter what you do, if we do not go into dealing with the main cause or causes of the problem will always be there. The effect will always be there. So, but again, this might not be when we, you know, the negotiation to get a ceasefire, holding, and then we can now move into the other area of the problem. And I hope they are doing that. And again, I want to repeat, and I said that again, and for a lot of reasons, for many times, I want to say it. The way we treat ourselves in this country is not good. Let me use a simple English. We do not put values on lives of human beings in this country. One of the callers said, if one Israeli is kidnapped or whatever, the whole Israel will be fighting to get him back. Yes, we had a case when one Israeli junior army military boy, I think he was kidnapped for many months. But I can assure you that Israel, they've done so much to make sure that nothing happens to that boy. And by the time, and also it's also on record that the time they want to get his release, many, for one release, there were many PLO or Hamas people that were given in return. But then again, their case, their situation, Israeli PLO Hamas business is not the same as what we are having in our hands now.
Exactly.
They cannot be the same. You understand me?
All right.
So, and that's why, again and again, we need to have experts, people who know what they are doing. And we can also bring into play here, if we want to tap into our culture, our way of life, that if you have two stubborn children, you understand me, making trouble in the area where you live, the elderly among in that area can always order and say, go and bring them here. I've seen that happening. The elder person in the area, we go there. Now, again, we need also to start dealing with being honest.
Okay.
Because being honest, let me quickly finish this. Being honest to me means I want to say to the whole world that we know very well that these terrorists are getting the best of everything they need. Why is it taking us 6 months to close close that area, the loophole, to make sure they did not get the best armored car, to make sure that they did not replenish? You understand me? To even make sure that they do not have even have that money. It is not difficult. So because if we can afford to line for fishermen for fishing even in Nigerian water, and want to find them 10 million naira, and we have a large number of people who are damaging the economy of this country, and we are still not able to put a stop to how terrorists get all their funding, get all their wares, the ammunitions and so on and so forth, there's something fundamentally wrong with us. Do we have government? That is the next question an average person will ask. Because I have a situation where an Australian man, he said, "Buddy," I said, "Yes." He said, what you complain too much about your country. I said, "Well, I'm in the business of complaining." And he said, if it's only 1% or even 10% you are talking about that have gotten everything in their hand, what's happening with the 90% people? What are they doing? Why are they reacting? Why did they accept everything and say, you know what?
Okay, Olabode. Now, let's quickly look at this now. There's some school of thought who say, well, the government has got into a negotiation table, that's a step. But then another one will say, but this Boko Haram, what they are looking at, even beyond what they are asking for. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, with the report we are getting is, the Boko Haram, the ideology is against the Western education and civilization. And so that is why they are fighting. They don't want, but some school of thought will say what they are fighting is even beyond their ideology, which has to roll out Western education and all of that. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it is beyond their current ideology of abolishing Western education?
I'm happy you touched that core area. you touch that core area, because that is one of the main fundamental. And I have seen other people manipulating, distorting.
Okay.
You understand me? With disregard to issues on the table. That these are set of people. But you see, I do not want to prejudice. You understand me? What and what we should be talking when we are negotiating. Because you touch that area, we might not have enough time now today to go into that area, because we know, some of us analysts who know that these are fundamental issues, because these are the things they are asking for. And how do we get into all that is a big area of argument we can go into. But again, like I said, I don't think we have enough time for that now.
No, you can go ahead and just quickly do.
We know very well that the #1 demand of Boko Haram is they want to bring their own system of governance, which I have no doubt in my mind that is only them, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 25 of them that can only subscribe to that. Because I have no doubt in my mind that majorities, even in the area, in the core area of where they have their caliphate as we speak, or the area they think they can terrorize people more than some other part of the country, they know that majority of the people will not want to agree to their demand. Because today, an average Nigerian wants to send his or her child or children to school to get good education. Yes, we can find time to talk about getting our own education. Because some people gave us this education, you understand me? Mm. We can also get our own education. Mm. Some people are saying we can sit down to work out how we can rule ourselves according to our needs. After all, before emergence of the Oyibo people, you understand me? People are ruling this country, they were ruling their regions. So we can sit down and talk about that. Mm. So the demand of Boko Haram in that area you mentioned, I cannot imagine that it's going to hold water. It's going to be acceptable to any average Nigerian. It's only among themselves can say a woman cannot do this, cannot do that. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Here we have today, I'm really surprised that we have not seen women going to collect their application form to become president of Nigeria. I mean, it's high time we should have one. Mm. You understand me? So most of what they're asking for, they're all, to me, odds, absurd, impossible, and it's not obtained. They cannot obtain. They cannot get it.
Mm. Okay, let's quickly pick up this call. You are calling from Ikoyi. Hello. You are. Hello.
Talking about the education. Look at
yes, our last callers for today. Go ahead and make it quickly.
Since when they take these girls now? You understand?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Ayuba, go ahead. Hello, Ayuba, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, since when they take these girls now? You understand? School in Chibok local government, there's no any school. Even children that they are private school, there's no any school. Then you people were taking back to school. We think let them bring these girls back, that they can take the school, then any children can go back to school. You understand? But they didn't think about the school that some people, some children, they are not in school. You understand? They are thinking about their own just politics to use against human beings. Then there was nobody that cannot have children in Nigeria. Everybody have children. Everybody is born children. Then they have to look on it. You understand? So these children, so if they cannot go there, let them repair that school. Then some children can go back to school. You understand? Because time is going for children. Look at the school that Boko Haram bought the school now. Look at it. There's no any repair. There's nothing. You understand? Children,
okay. All right.
Everybody just there in house.
Thank you very much, Ayuba, for making your point. We have to let you go now. We are running out of time. We're sorry about that. We have to. Now, he has made that point. You know, schools have not been repaired, exactly, and all of that. But I recall, just before we go, I recall where the government is saying that, well, they were going to build, repair, and allocate, you know, some funds to repair that area. Probably he is not aware of about that anyway. But let's quickly, before we go, let's assume that these girls, the government, the federal government, and Boko Haram will be able to come to terms of agreement at the end of the day, and these truths will not be broken again, just like what we're witnessing yesterday.
And Maiduguri
and all of that. Yeah. Now, as we round up, let's assume these girls are released this week, because we heard, okay, if they come to an agreement between now and Tuesday, they should be released before the end of the week. Now, what should be the first thing that should be done if they come back home? Because by now, a lot of people are saying, okay, the probably sense of reasoning would have been altered by now.
Very much so. And I have no doubt in my mind that when you have a situation like this, apart from the fact that these girls will have been traumatized, they must have probably be abused to a great extent. I think that's again when I will also suggest that as they are getting released, everything possible, no matter how much it's going to cost us, to bring them back to normality. We would need to engage the experts in that area of how best to restore them. Because, as you rightly said, they will have been off balance. There's so many things. And you can imagine the agony they've been going through. Even not only the children, the parents must be well taken care of. Because I have a situation that when you go through hospitalization, they make you to go and recover. You understand? To recuperate, to go outside, to go on holiday. So when eventually because it's so difficult now to even start to suggest when to start to celebrate. We cannot even start to celebrate now until, hopefully, prayerfully, that our girls will be released, and then we can now start to celebrate and rejoice. But most importantly, government must do everything possible to make sure, to spend everything they have to make sure that these girls are properly back to normalcy.
Okay.
Because I can imagine what they are all going through, and not only the girls, also their parents also must they must be prepared to look after them, and no more politicization and or personalization of anything. Nobody needs to gain to get nothing. The only thing we can all gain now is to show the world that we are capable of negotiating the release of these girls. And once we do that, then we can get some marks.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Olabode Oseni.
It's my pleasure.
He's a public affairs analyst, and he's been fantastic on the show. Thank you for being there on the show today.
You're welcome.
Of course, you are viewers at home and callers. Thank you for being part of the show today. Are you back? Who called from Ikoyi? He says he's an indigenous of Chibok community, and it says that no school has been repaired. All the schools and all of that have been damaged. Well, we recall the federal government promised to do something about that, and we hope that the federal government will wake up to fulfill its promise concerning that place. Well, this is where we round up today. I am Frank Omalape. Bye for now.
Nigerians continue to
Tonight, the city of Lagos waits at the dog as all routes
Be the first to know from the north, south, east, west, and around Africa. We break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Call TV News.
Welcome to Call TV.
A 24-hour news station.